Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. For the final time, we are reconvening here on the starting grid directly out from Brno. It is time to complete the season of the ESETCup series in 2024 for the GT Sprint Championship. This is the last sprint, last one of the season. And because this is a special one, maybe you can actually turn around, because we have a very special display leading us out into this sprint race. We do not only have the pace car, the B8 Alpina, and the safety car, but look, two airplanes that will take off together with the cars. I mean, have you seen anything like that in motorsport? I definitely haven't. And if you just compare the beautiful airplanes with the machines right behind your back, I mean, the prototypes, they are like airplanes on the road. They also have wings, but wings, they're actually holding them firmly to the ground. We have got Miro Konopka sat on pole position once again, and it's Marko Fink on the other side of the front row. Marko Fink. Marko was already fighting for the top spots yesterday. Now you are on the front row. Enjoy your
very difficult against Miro Konopka. I give everything on the track and then we look for a good position.
Should we expect a calm approach to the first corner, or going for it?
Push, push, look.
A good one. And if we make our way a little further down the field on row number 2, we have got Petr Fulin as the leading GT3 car on the grid in his Audi R8 GT3, and on the other side it is another of the, let's say, prototypes, shall we even say. It's Alex Lusty in the D5 class, same with Miro Konopka up front, and Alex Lusty driving his Praga in the qualifying earlier on and scoring 4th position. But let's maybe get to this position, P5. That was Emanuel Pedraza, who was really quick yesterday in the first sprint and got actually to the lead and was one of the fastest cars on the track. Emanuel Pedraza, yesterday you were very fast, now you are P5, so we have 4 cars in front. But should we expect you to move forward today as well?
Yes, I will catch them before, and I must have a good start, and then maybe.
How do you like the Brno track in your car?
Very, very nice. Very, very good.
Okay, thank you so much. Have a good one. On the other side of row number 3, that's Adam Konopka in his Lamborghini Huracan GT3. And if we just keep going a further little bit, we might actually allow ourselves to do that, because we've still got round about 5 minutes before the formation lap begins. This is Antal Žigo, this year's GT3 champion in the current generation BMW M4 GT3 car. And on the other side, a very fast car from yesterday as well. It is Coach Mackenzie, car number 617. It's the Lamborghini Huracan GT3 that was, especially in the endurance race yesterday, fighting together with his teammate Gerhard Pedraza, and they brought you one of the some of the most exciting moments from yesterday's race. And we keep going. GTC class, home team, home boys, home drivers, home glory, and it's Josef Záruba as the first car in the GTC class. Josef, enjoying yourselves once again. You've got a team meeting. He's in the meeting actually. See, I would really love such office for a Sunday drive, really, for Sunday program. So you are now in the meeting, teams.
Can you please tell Brno that he's talking to me so I can't speak?
Okay. Bronik is talking to Peppa. Let's actually do this for Peppa. Yeah. Just give me a couple of seconds. Hey! Bronia, we are trying to work here. You seem to be in a team's meeting with your teammate. You are talking to his radio. We can't have an interview. What are you doing, guys? Enjoying your weekend?
I don't understand nothing.
You know, what's going on your radio? Can we maybe hear that?
Yes. I don't know. Sorry. Just have to speak in the radio. I don't heard nothing.
This is Mechanic Motorsport, you know, in a nutshell. Rock and roll every single day, enjoying their home weekend. Fantastic stuff. And with 3 minutes remaining before we set off for the formation lap, we need to clear the grid because these cars will go rumbling and roaring for the final sprint in 2024. So let's have a good one. Let's enjoy it. We are opening the 2023 season here in Germany. First of the 6 calendar events that are ready for us this year.
Oh, there's contact between Joachim Galage and Libor Milotan.
There is the race leader, Filip Salaguarda. They are now going to be side by side across the line, but Galage is prevailing. Joachim Galage scores another victory. His teammate does a slight touch in the first corner. What a move that was! And he's third, and there's a contact. Luckily, everybody else has managed to avoid that car. This is going to be a photo finish between the two Lambos. Who's first? It must be Denis Vašek. Unbelievable! Ooh, and this is a big crash, massive crash. So final GT sprint of 2024 in the ESETCup series. This is your starting order. Miro Konopka on pole position with his LMP3 Ligier on the other side of the front row of the grid. Petr Fulin in his GT3 Audi R8. And then we have got, that's Petr Fulin actually on the second row. It's Marco Fink on the other side of the front row. Petr Fulin and Alex Lusty together sharing row number 2. Then Emanuel Pedraza and Adam Konopka. And we have got a trouble already. One of the KTMs, that seems to be RTR Projects team. And their driver not really managing to get going. Car number 294 that already had trouble yesterday, as the car had a technical issue. And I was speaking to Peter Lissa yesterday, and he mentioned that they had trouble in race number 1, where he basically had to stop and perform the hard restart procedure, which of course made him fall all the way down the order to the last. He then made up some places, but it was actually, of course, bad luck for them, and it seems to be problematic for RTR Projects today. Once again, this is not what we want to see. It's Ondřej Rokos actually at the wheel of the car for sprint number 2. He was supposed to start in 16th overall, but now he is forced back into the pits. Going on with the starting order, Emanuel Pedraza, one of the fastest cars yesterday, in 5th position right now, then Adam Konopka alongside him on row number 3, Antal Žigo and Coach McKenzie in 7th and 8th, Josef Záruba, Martin Hudec sharing row number 5 behind them. Broňa Formánek, he had rocket starts yesterday, so let's see what this always smiling guy can perform and can show us today in the sprint number 2. Diego Romanini in 12th, alongside him Herman Špek, Petr Koukola sharing row number 7, then Gábor Tim and Ondřej Rokos, who of course is going to start from the pit lane, and we shall only hope that he will be able to start. So RTR Projects, they are now fighting against time to get the car going. Raniero, Randaccio and Denis Vašek, that's row number 9. Row number 10, Bob Bau and Michael Oliver behind them, Rudo Beňo, Adam Lacko, Ludvík Kronaviter, Ivan Hřeňák, Petr Korman, Jaka Štuflek, Andrej Makarovič, Antonín Herbek and Thomas Lindemann. We have got a 29 strong field for the final sprint of 2024. So fasten your seatbelts, we will be going quickly. And the final rumble and roar around Automotodrom Brno is about to begin, with Miro Konopka starting from pole, keeping first place for the moment, but Marko Fink finding space around the outside, and the blue prototype of Emanuel Pedraza immediately shooting up ahead as well. We've got both Mechanik Motorsport Lambos in the fight around the edge of the top 10 once again. They are the leading GTC cars. Petr Fulín has dropped a couple of positions. Ooh, that was nearly a contact, maybe even a physical contact between Petr Fulín and Emanuel Pedraza. Now Fulín choosing a different line through turn number 3, and immediately under pressure from one of the Mechanik Motorsport Lambos. They have had a fantastic start yet again, but who's the one up ahead? This is Antal Žigo under pressure from car number 5, which would be Diego Romanini. Miro Konopka leading us away in sprint number 2 from Marko Fink and Emanuel Pedraza, the 3 prototypes in close formation at the beginning of the second sprint. Here in Brno, Petr Fulín leading the GT3 class. And Adam Konopka trying to trouble the Mechanik Motorsport Lambo. And we are really going for it. Adam Konopka sends it down the inside. They are now running alongside each other through the final S's corners. It's the car number 22 actually. So Broňa Formánek yet again, fantastic start like yesterday in both of the races that he entered. So he has already shot past his teammate Pepa Záruba, who was faster in quali. But Broňa Formánek, brilliant starts. I don't know whether he's found some shortcut somewhere in the first sector, or what is he doing differently than pretty much rest of the pack, but his starts, that is quite something. But now it is Adam Konopka regaining his position in the sun. Miro Konopka, his dad, leading the race. Adam had a trouble in this corner actually yesterday, right on the opening lap of the endurance race. Unfortunately, it turns out that one of the tire warmers wasn't working properly, and therefore the tire preparation wasn't perfect, and that just caused a disbalance for the car on the opening lap, right when you really need to lean on that grip of the tires, which Adam tried to do, but the car let go, and there was a half spin that Adam corrected, but that sent him directly into the gravel and into the barrier. It wasn't a big shunt, but it ended his chances prematurely. Now Adam Konopka is back to P5. having dealt with Brno Formánek. Miro Konopka leading the race from Marko Fink and Emanuel Pedraza, so the three prototypes in the first three positions. Then Petr Fulín in fourth overall, leading the GT3 class from Adam Konopka, Brno Formánek. Alex Tlustý dropped down to 7th in his Praga. Josef Záruba, Antal Žigo and Diego Romanini completing the top 10 for the moment. Look how small the Praga is. It really reminds me of some of the previous years when we had a radical car racing with us. And that was always a fantastic spectacle. The big GT car against a smaller, well, back then it was a radical, now it is Praga, similar sight. And now they are going at each other. Adam Konopka together with Petr Fulín round the outside into turn 2. Petr Fulín definitely not giving up just like that. And he keeps on enjoying the fight. But now it is the inside line for Adam. So Adam prevailing and snatching fourth from Petr Fulín. They are different classes, but they still enjoy their fight together. Coach McKenzie, who was inside the top 10 on the grid, dropped out of it, and he's currently in 11th from Herman Speck, Martin Hudec and Petr Koukola. Denis Vašek gained 2 places to be 16th currently. And of course, the biggest number of positions lost. Ondřej Rokos, RTR Projects, but of course we saw that car having to enter the pit lane right at the start, as he didn't manage to set off for the formation lap. Now it seems that the KTM is going again, and we do see sector times and lap times for the car number 294, and Ondřej Rokos lapping much faster than the cars directly ahead of him, so he will at least enjoy a lot of overtaking on his Sunday drive here in Brno. Miro Konopka away with the race lead, 4.5 seconds. And this is Alex Tlustý lining up for a slipstreaming battle with Bronislav Formánek. Coming into the first corner, Formánek closing the door on the Praga. Alex Tlustý had to bail out of that one. Ooh, but they are now getting side by side once more. And out of the first corner goes Alex Tlustý together with the GTC Lambo. This isn't a fight that you're gonna see on any day. He got really close in the left-hander, but both drivers managed to avoid one another. So Formánek still ahead of Alex Tlustý, and Josef Záruba joining the party, with Antal Žigo right behind him in his GT3 BMW M4. Another half attempt, half look, as the door got opened on the inside line. And out of the stadium section we go. It used to be a big fight in the GTC class last year between Ličánek Motorsport drivers Matěj Pavlíček and Joachim Galáš, both of whom are actually in the paddock visiting the team, as they are racing in Lamborghini Super Trofeo this season, and they had a beautiful fight with Denis Vašek for the overall glory that in the end went to Joachim Galáš. Alex Lustig still isn't done with Brno Formanek. Still putting pressure on his countryman, but now the inside line opens and Alex Lustig squeezes through. Nice move, opportunistic, but when the opportunity arose, he snatched it immediately. With 16 minutes left on the clock now, the Michanek Motorsport Lambos running together, but they are going to be troubled by the GT3 BMW right behind them. This is going to be a local fight, local team. Once again with all its typical presence here in Brno, to give a great spectacle to all the visitors, to all the fans in the grandstands. They even had a TV news star, Lucia Borhiová, joining them for the weekend as one of their VIP guests. Cut back to Miro Konopka, our race leader, and we had one of the cars driving rather slowly. I'm not sure whether that was some of the back markers, but it was a blue car, and I'm wondering, is that Emanuel Pedraza in trouble? We're gonna have to wait and see as we run across the line once again. Miro Konopka making it around for the 5th time this afternoon. Marco Fink in 2nd, and we already have Adam Konopka up to 3rd. So it is that, and yeah, it's the blue prototype of Emanuel Pedraza. So fast yesterday, but today running into trouble, and we have the car number 6 slow down significantly on the track, and it is now returning back to the pit lane. There are the Michanek Motorsport Lambos fighting together just as Emanuel Pedraza enters the pits. There he is. What a bad luck for Emanuel. He was going to enjoy this race as we had our little chat on the grid, but that ends up prematurely even before we were able to reach the halfway mark of the race. Denis Vasek fighting together with one of the Porsches. And there's also the prototype driven by Michael Oliver. That would be Bob Bau in the Porsche that has just got ahead of Denis. Checking the GT4 class briefly, just like yesterday, again today we have a beautiful fight for the GT4 victory, and it is currently Adam Lacko leading. He's 20th overall in his AMG GT Mercedes prepared by Bagheera Racing, but right behind him Rudolf Benio, this time car number 444, the BMW M4, and they were just 7/10 of a second away from one another across the line the last time out. As we've just reached the halfway mark of the race, Bob Bau coming through on Michael Oliver. Denis Vasek will try to follow suit. Denis Vasek already the crowned GTC champion in 2024, but we might want to have a look at the fight at the front of the GT4 field. Adam Lacko and Rudo Benio going for it once again. They already had a wonderful scrap for the victory yesterday, and that was valid actually for both races. Ooh, and it really got very close to comfort. You didn't see that, but I just noticed that on one of the other cameras, Rudo Benio sending it down the inside on Adam Lacko, very nearly collecting him. There might even have been a slight touch between the two GT4 leaders. So when possible, we'll try to cut back to that shot. This is the GTC fight. between the Mechanik Motorsport drivers. Formanek still ahead of Pepa Zaruba. But how about the GT4 class? Lotsko right in front of Brno. They had, well, these two cars had wonderful fights yesterday already, both in the sprint and also later on in the endurance, where Rudo Brno shared the driving duties in his car with Richard Gonda. And in the end, they managed to come out on top of that battle and scored the GT4 victory. Rudolf Brno, in the meantime, already a confirmed GT4 champion from the last round. Mechanik Motorsport guys enjoying their time in the sun as they are running very close to one another. Zaruba slipstreaming past Formanek. They have a back marker right ahead. That's Lemma Racing's AMG GT4 Mercedes. Antal Gigot flashing his headlights as he's also coming through behind the Lambos. And there it is for you, the GT4 fight. These two cars are the class leaders. They're not the only ones in the class. On the track, we also have Ivan Hřeňák, Jaka Štuflek, Andrej Makarovič in the GT4. And it is the Mercedes of Adam Lacko currently leading. But Rudolf Brno very close in second. They are making their way around the first corner once again after 7 laps that have already been completed by the race leaders. Now a slipstreaming battle on the back straight. Brno trying to find his way through. Now Lacko under braking from the inside. That is supposed to put him out of position for this corner. So Brno lining up for another move. They are now going downhill. Wonderful fight between these two drivers. Once again, they have been enjoying themselves all the weekend and they are keeping us entertained on Sunday as well. Now re-entering the stadium section, one of the prototypes coming in to lap the cars presumably. Well, actually might be Petr Korman, car number 10, which is actually in position against these two cars. So not a car that is supposed to lap the GT4s. So they can, well, they can still enjoy their battle with 8 minutes left on the clock. Konopka in the meantime leading by over 5 seconds over Marko Fink. Adam Konopka currently as the leading GTX car in 3rd overall from Petr Furín, who is leading the GT3 class once again. Back to the GTC lead. Formanek Zaruba formation with Antal Gigot still close behind. But again, what a great start by Bronislav Formanek in today's race. He did the similar thing yesterday in both races already. Now now Zaruba letting the GT3 car through. Both of the Mechanic Motorsport guys, we caught them in a team's meeting earlier on the grid, making one another uncomfortable through the comm system and running jokes back and forth. Teasing one another, and they both have now let Antalji go through so they can focus on their respective battle. Now they are going to be side by side into the final couple of corners. Zaruba coming through on Formanek. Brno Formanek actually beaten by a very slight margin in yesterday's first sprint, and then taking victory in the endurance race, and now they are running close to one another once again. So it is now Formanek back in the lead. It's getting a bit tricky to follow, but exciting to watch. Side by side once again. What is it, an attempt to actually drive the entire circuit next to one another? Is this now like an exhibition drive for the spectators? Another look down the inside, so now it is Brno Formanek back in the lead. Car number 22 ahead of car number 33. Antalji already gone from the pair. They let him go so that they can enjoy their own battle, undisturbed by anyone else. Four and a half minutes left on the clock. By the way, Marko Fink has reduced his gap to the race-leading Miro Konopka to just under 4 seconds. Another fight between Mechanic Motorsport Lambos. This is the other GTC car, and it's the champion of 24, Denis Vasek, in the car number 100. You may have noticed the all-black front bumper as the car got a couple of big hits in Most and had to undergo huge repairs. By the way, the GT2 Motorsport again, well, this time represented by Marek Fischer in the pits, but not Jarda Slabok, who has had very beautiful family duties away from the racetrack as he welcomed a new life to this world. So congratulations running to Jarda Slabok, and we will be really looking forward to meeting him in the paddock soon again next season, showing the new baby what a proper race car should look like and sound like. And this is the GT4 class lead fight. Brno still very close to Adam Latsko. These two have also been enjoying themselves, and I would even say deliberately running close to one another to have a wonderful fight. And it's great to see that. So we've got fights here and there, up and down the field. Miro Konopka leading again by more than 4 seconds, 4.5 across the line the last time out from Marko Fink. Adam Konopka having a rather lonely race in third overall, leading the GTX class. Same goes about Petr Furin in the lead of the GT3 category. From then Alex Lustin, 5th overall, Antalji in 6th. These two drivers currently actually 18th and 19th overall, but fighting for the GT4 class lead. Adam Latsko has had the upper hand over the past couple of laps, but is Rudo Brno going to come up with something? He already had a go earlier on, but that very nearly ended up in tears. Luckily, the both drivers, I don't even think that they avoided each other, but there was a slight touch. They just sort of stroked one another, but could manage to to keep going. Just over a minute left on the clock in the GT sprint. Konopka coming through. That was also really rather close. I think we still have one more lap to go because Miro Konopka, with 30 seconds left, is now making his way through the final couple of corners. Still time left to come across the line and start a final lap of the race, just like the GT4s that are about to be lapped in their respective fight. Miro Konopka coming across the line with about 14 seconds still remaining. So this is now going to tick down to 0, with Miro Konopka currently on the final lap of the race. Lapping the GT4 class leaders that are currently being shown the blue flag, and they are trying to be sporty about that. So Rudo Beño not exploiting this situation to get ahead of Adam Lacko. Well, maybe in the first moment, but Miro Konopka isn't through. He's being really very careful. Ooh. Rudo Beño was expecting Konopka to come through way faster, but he didn't do so. So he said, okay, I've got a fight on my hands. I still have to win the race for the GT4 class. So if you're not coming through, I'm just going for it. And they are doing that again. Of course, another marshalling post where they have to follow the blue flag warning. But Miro Konopka simply isn't coming through, and this is now getting too close for comfort, even for the race leader now, Marco Fink, who has already reduced the entire gap that he had on Miro Konopka, is now coming through on the final lap of the race. Marco Fink leading. This was a messy situation. Miro Konopka was very slow in lapping the GT4 back markers. It needs to be said that they were giving him space, that they were running on the side of the track, allowing him through. They even stopped their own fight for the GT4 class lead, but Miro Konopka simply wasn't coming through. So they said, okay, we are going to carry on with our fight. We also want to win, both of us. And Marco Fink used that situation, reeled Miro Konopka in, and took that victory off his hands on the final lap of the race. And he is about to make it around the final corner to score a victory in the second GT sprint of the weekend. This is the final race of 2024. Marco Fink victorious in Brno. Miro Konopka made a mess of that, and he not only didn't really lap the back markers quickly enough, but he lost the victory on the final lap of the race. In the meantime, the GT4 drivers coming across the line in the same order as for the past couple of laps. So Adam Lacko ahead of Rudo Beño, and this is still the one to sort out. Mechanik Motorsport, internal team battle between Formanek and Zaruba. They are now exiting the final corner. Zaruba, Formanek, are they going for a photo finish? What is going to happen? It is Broňa Formanek taking a sprint victory ahead of Pepa Zaruba in the final race of the season. Mechanik Motorsport already celebrating on the pit wall to give the team some beauty shots. That was done in style. But Marco Fink takes an unexpected victory in the final GT sprint of the season. Miro Konopka, well, He was very careful about lapping the GT4 cars. In the end, that situation got chaotic, and out of the chaos came Marco Fink and took the victory off his hands. Adam Konopka in third, winning the GTX class. Petr Fulín winning the GT3 category in fourth overall from Alex Tlustý. Antal Žigo second among GT3s and sixth overall. Broňa Formánek taking the GT Cup victory ahead of his teammate Josef Záruba. They had just under 0.2 of a second across the line between one another. Coach McKenzie in 9th, Martin Hudec in 10th, the car number 27. Herman Speck, P11 from Diego Romanini. Petr Koukola in 13th in the KTM GTX prepared by Janík Motorsport team. Michal Oliver in 14th from Denis Vašek. Raniero Randaccio, Bob Bau, Adam Lacko scoring a victory in the GT4 class from Rudo Beňo. Peter Korman in P20 from Gabor Tim. Ondřej Rokos, Ludvík Kronaviter, Ivan Hřeňák, Jaka Štuflek and Andrej Makarovič. Emanuel Pedraza had to retire after a couple of laps for a technical problem. Antonín Herbeck and Thomas Lindemann did not even take part in race number 2 this weekend. So that was a late drama. We had very nice fights for the race win in GTC and GT4, and what we weren't expecting was to have a fight for victory overall in the end. But that's what we got. We've still got a couple of races planned for you. We are now going to take a break after this race, and we will be back in about an hour for the second race of the Division 2 single-seater race for the various Formula 3 cars. And then after another quick break, we're going to top off the program with the final and third race of the Central European Formula 4 at about 4 p.m. So with the results being shown to you, it is now going to be a very warm goodbye, so make sure that you do not miss the rest of the program that we have in store for you.